Of a bitch.
Sorry.
All right, there we go. Welcome, folks. Tonight's episode of The Left, the Right, and the Absurd. So pretty much we have absolutely no idea what we're doing, like always. But we're still here. And by the way, to anyone that's watching, we're going to post a link in the description today to the GoFundMe that was started last week. So you guys can help some retards buy a short bus.
It's not just any
Tonight's
short bus. It's a Viking short bus.
the best kind of short bus. A short bus driven and full of retards.
You
That's
know, man,
before that's
we don't
before we buy it,
use.
by the way.
Oh,
But tonight's episode is just like the last 2 weeks. We're just fucking winging it. I figured we'd start tonight's off talking about the Jewish plot to rule the world.
Yeah, it's all those fucking Jews. Speaking
hey,
of
wait!
Jews,
I've got a quasi serious topic we could discuss. Have you all seen God's Not Dead?
Yeah, no, I try to shy away from just stupid ass movies.
Yeah, I ended up watching about 40 minutes tonight. Has anybody else watched it?
I've seen parts of it. Yeah,
It was an awful movie through and through. Both the student and the professor presented in the movie were fucking Philistines. Like I was watching the movie and I was kind of playing a game with myself. How many logical fallacies can I identify in this scene alone?
what's the highest score?
Fuck, dude, I wasn't keeping track.
You should have been. Anyway, about that Jewish plot.
But see,
Yeah,
it was a really I have to expand upon that. It was a really silly movie. The professor character was just this like really dumb like neo-atheist character who wasn't actually a neo-atheist. He was a maltheist. He hated he believed in a god, in Yahweh, but he hated him because of his material condition. That was like the biggest flaw in the movie, is the fact that the spooky atheist character wasn't even an atheist. Um, one of the what I thought was one of the most irritating logical fallacies that the professor committed was the argumentum ad auctoritatem. He didn't actually present any legitimate responses or rebuttals to what the student was proposing. He just said, "You would dare to disagree with Richard Dawkins and Stephen Hawking? This is hubris."
I would. Richard Dawkins is kind of a twat waffle.
Well, yeah, yes. You see, that's the point. It's not the person who writes the whatever the fuck they're writing. It's completely irrelevant. If what they're writing is insubstantial and at odds with reality, then absolutely judge it as such. Reality is the ultimate decider of what is objectively and what is not. Not your opinion of reality, not your qualitative experience of reality, but reality as it actually measurably is. It just So I think that's all I really have to say about the movie. I could pick through it bit by bit, but it seems like no one here else here has had the stomach to watch it, so we wouldn't be able to have any meaningful discussion about it. So moving on.
So back to the
Jewish plot.
Jewish
Jews.
plot. So there's actually multiple things going on in Israel right now. They just recently signed a new deal with the U.S. where the U.S. is going to send them money so that they can spend said money on our weapons. Makes sense, right? We send you money, you buy our guns with that money, so we don't actually make anything, but we're not losing anything either. And then, with the death of Shimon Peres, Netanyahu made the bold decision to establish a new settlement in Gaza.
Beautiful.
Hey
Of course it
guys, we've got somebody watching us who's not me. Hi person, how you doing?
We're so proud to have you here. I feel like it's Umbreon.
It's probably Kenny.
Probably
Of
is.
course.
Uh,
But by the way, Matt, can you like unmute your fucking mic and get into the podcast, man? Like
People do film. That's not how it's like.
Yeah, I'm
this
here.
is a like three-way discussion right now, and it's significantly less interesting without your input.
All right, go ahead.
It's because we love you long time.
I just killed a cockroach with a lighter.
What were you? I mean, you mentioned Israel.
So yeah, we were talking about the fact that that Israel just got a new deal with the U.S. for tons of money. Over the next decade, it's either going to be 38 million or 38 billion.
That's kind of a big
Jesus
divide there.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, I have a hard time remembering if it was million or billion.
And I believe you mentioned something about a new settlement too.
Yeah, there's a new settlement in Gaza. Instead of expanding upon the settlements that they already have that are completely illegal, they decided, hey, let's build another illegal settlement.
I'm assuming that won't be stopped, just like everything in the past.
Well, the U.S. actually went at them with a strongly worded letter. The fucked up part is that's not a joke.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Strongly worded letter.
Yeah, they
Brilliant.
sent them a letter stating...
Add Eric.
Eric is in here, he's just a fucking faggot.
Okay.
So they're setting this up, strongly worded letter of, hey, we're supporting you, but we can't support what you're doing. Thing to actively stop it. We're just going to sit here and say, hey, don't do that.
We lost one of our viewers, guys. That's a damn shame.
It's probably
It's
Kenny.
okay.
He probably got sad that we talked shit about him.
No, it wasn't Kenny. It was some ANCAP dude named Shibidi Whale.
No, it was Eric.
That's Eric?
Yeah.
Oh. That's Eric.
I love Eric.
What
Show browser history or riot. Well, my browser history is somewhat shameful. Is that the next interesting topic we're all going to discuss, our individual browser histories?
Mine's always clear
like
because...
the newest Trump scandal, because apparently this one has actually been somewhat detrimental to his campaign, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time he's ever actually apologized for something.
Somewhat. Man, everyone's going after him.
Everyone's jumping ship, too. The GOP's beginning to jump
You guys
ship.
getting a call
lot
from
of
Eric?
people that have backed him now. Are you?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're not switching calls, but
Okay.
I don't know. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but again, just my input on it for anybody watching or anybody who will watch in the future. I think it's really overblown. There is no such thing as an honest man who can say that he hasn't had that kind of locker room conversation, which is exactly what it was, maybe not literally, in his lifetime. I mean, I'm not a supporter of Trump. I'm not a proponent of any of his policies or even his mannerisms, but I just think it's really overblown. Like, there is no male who doesn't have some severe form of autism who hasn't talked that way about women in exclusively male environment.
I feel like there needs to be something said, because this is definitely where I disagree. While I understand what you're saying, I feel like simply dismissing it as locker room conversation kind of just perpetuates the idea of, well, boys will be boys, and I think that's kind of a generally that tends to be used as a form of I want to say victim
rape
blaming.
apologism. Like, what are?
Victim blaming, I think, is
Oh, I'm
what
not.
I'm trying
There
to
were no
think of.
victims here, though. Really, this conversation, the conversation that's been released in itself, it was words. Now, as far as the
No.
actual allegations of sexual assault, that's a whole different discussion.
No,
But
I
no
understand
one
that.
was harmed in the discussion
I'm
of
not.
women in a demeaning way.
I'm not talking about the actual things that Trump said right now. I'm talking about the whole idea of dismissing it as locker room conversation, because it's essentially the same concept as boys will be boys, stuff like that. And it tends to lead down a path of essentially victim blaming, where when it does finally come to that, it's that, well, it was just talk, or boys will be boys, or something of that nature. But the thing with the biggest thing though is he's also shown that he, in past events, that he is also extremely misogynistic in general.
I'm not really sure what to say. I don't particularly care about victim blaming or any of that, or really any of the ramifications of it. I just think analyzing it for what it is.
Like, here's what I was gonna like think. Like, it you know, his comments. Of course, you can have your opinions about that, but what really matters is whether or not he actually did the things he said he did, as if he actually did just grab women, you know,
By the pussy.
Grab her pussy, boy.
Yeah, exactly. If he actually did that, then of course I think that's a very fine example of sexual harassment.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm gonna go unpopular opinion time. I don't think sexual harassment is a big deal. I really don't. Like, I made that kind of semi-joking post on iFunny about women if they played football. Everyone's had their ass slapped. Everyone's been groped. That's not everyone who does that, although everyone who does that is being pretty rude in the circumstance that they're doing that. They're not going to rape you. They're not actually going to act in a way that will harm you, scar you, or prevent you from actualizing your values. I mean, dude, everyone's been sexually assaulted or harassed. I really. Did you guys never get your ass slapped during football? Did you never play that silly game in middle school where girls would come up and slap your ass because they got dared to? It's normal everyday interactions.
Well, I was going to mention how this affects his actual campaign, and like, because I mean, I think we can see the effects of this whole scandal coming out in his campaign right now.
Oh yeah,
Well,
everybody's pissed.
A ton of Republicans have just jumped ship.
See, I'm still calling them like self-righteous twats because I feel that, again, none of us are. Fuck, I think after the podcast ended last week, we had kind of a locker room conversation, talked shit about women. I mean, it's. No one is innocent here. You know, that old Christian proverb, fucking plank in the eye and all that. It's hypocritical. Very few people, not literally no one, but very few people can say that they're not guilty of that.
Jesus could say that.
Jesus can't say much given he's dead.
Eric, you're so quiet.
And then, I mean, Hillary Clinton put out it was like, I think 2 sentences and like 11 words total, I believe.
About it? We don't want this man running our country?
Yeah, it was basically something like that.
I
mean, of course, Trump has seen a lot of lost support from even a lot of Republicans after this whole scandal. And I find it funny that it's hilarious that Ted Cruz just endorsed him. If he would have waited like another week or two, and he would have looked like such a hero.
Oh my lord.
I think one of the best parts, though, was Trump's statement of Bill Clinton had an affair. I mean, the
I
fact
mean, that's what it's gonna be. It's just mudslinging, really. It's like, oh well, you found this shit on me. There's worse shit on the other alternative. It's
Well, I
not
mean, it's
going to
been-
be.
we saw that in the debates and all the time after it when Clinton came out with all the stuff about the uh, beauty pageant contestant that Trump called like fat or whatever.
Oh, is there anything? Is there seriously something wrong with calling someone fat?
It's fat shaming, man.
What are we talking about?
Fuck fat people.
Seriously.
No, really, fuck fat people. Fucking fatties are the bane of my existence.
I hate fat people.
Fat people need love too, but they gotta pay.
Yeah, they gotta
Well,
pay extra.
I mean, the other comment I was going to have was or along the lines of, with this whole scandal that happened, that happened, 2005? Is that
Oh,
when this
yeah.
whole
Oh,
thing occurred?
yes, as well. It was 11 years ago as well.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, here's the thing, and of course now people are going to bring up examples of past presidents like Reagan, but this is why we don't let basically fucking MTV stars run for goddamn president. It's like having Kim Kardashian run for president, is because you can bring up stupid things from their past that make them look bad.
Well, I mean,
It's not a surprise.
I want to
Kim
run for
Kardashian-
office simply so it can be brought up.
at least Kim Kardashian would be proud of it. She'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I made a fucking sex tape."
Ugh. I don't know. It's just like I said, I've said this, I've restated this in like 3 different ways, but I feel that everyone should just be tougher when it comes to situations that make them physically uncomfortable. Like nobody likes it, or maybe some people do, but most people, majority of people, don't like getting groped or getting their junk grabbed or any of that. But it happens,
Speak
and
for
it
yourself.
it
Eric
doesn't.
likes it.
You see, Eric is one of those weird fucking deviants.
Yeah, just have to
Oh.
ruin your good white Christian society.
But how
My
about
good white Christian society.
mention the extremely, extremely boring vice president debate that got like record low numbers for the past 3 presidential runnings?
Obama has used more drone strikes than the first 20 presidents combined. Well, I'd hope so. I'd really hope so. I'm reading some of the. I'm curious if he was testing us there, as to whether we would critically analyze it or whether we would just immediately recognize that the first 20 presidents didn't have access to drones.
I don't think he's that intelligent.
Hey, don't talk shit about our viewers, man. We can talk shit about anybody. We can talk shit about we can talk shit about Muslims. We can talk shit about anti-Muslims. We can talk shit about we can talk shit about anything but our viewers.
Can we talk shit about our Muslim, anti-Muslim viewers?
Yes.
Awesome.
Eric, since you haven't been on here a while, and I know that you're kind of big with Gary Johnson, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You like
like,
Gary Johnson?
I'm supporting him for president, but I think he's a piece of shit.
But
He
like,
feels
I mean,
the
compared to your
Johnson.
other 2 options, I honestly don't blame you, and I don't agree
Yeah.
with Jerry Johnson on much.
I honestly don't either, but like,
Why?
I think he's better
And I
than
would
the
have
other
loved
two.
to have seen him in the debate.
Eric,
Same with Jill Stein.
why is your voice so deep? Aren't you gay?
Yeah, sorry, I'll just I'm putting on an act. I'll start talking gay here in a minute.
You gotta talk like this.
Oh my god, I fucking love. Okay, I'm not gonna do that the rest of the time. That's gonna be annoying. But what? I don't even remember what your question was, Matt. We were talking about
I
Gary
believe
Johnson.
it was Democracy Now! that I think they broadcasted the debates, but they also asked they brought in I think Jill Stein and someone else from another party, and they
Yeah.
asked them the same questions that Lester Holt asked. So, and I
Oh,
just
by the
found
way,
that
we
out
can
after.
talk shit about Carl, guys. Do we have anything bad to say about Carl?
Fuck Carl.
Carl, your original capital investment pales in comparison to my creativity. Now, please get on the server and spawn some fucking jerry cans. Uh, I can't really go into that. Nobody understands the context but Carl there.
I don't know. I guess to like get back to the Gary Johnson thing,
Yeah.
like I think that like he's the best option in the race, but that's like saying, I'd rather have a hill of shit instead of a mountain of shit. Like everybody sucks.
Well, see, I wouldn't even say that because Gary Johnson eats weed edibles, so he's automatically better than any of the other candidates.
Well, right. Like, I mean, he's
like
far
a
and away
small-
cooler than anybody else in the race, but like,
He's like a small pile of dookie
exactly.
compared to the Mount Everest of shit that is the other candidates.
Isn't he pro-life or some shit?
No, he's pro-choice.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I remember somebody was pissing on a libertarian candidate because they were pro-life. Was that Austin Peterson?
Yeah, everybody was like, or I saw a couple people shitting on Peterson because he was pro-life.
Well,
But
Peterson
Clinton,
is a joke.
Peterson's a fag. Like, he's so fucking annoying.
my roads.
Like,
I thought he was actually gay.
I did too. I was like actually surprised. And then he told Christopher Cantwell he was swimming in a pyramid pile of pussy. Like, direct quote. Like, who the fuck says that?
I thought that was pretty cool, actually. I admire
One-
that. The fuck
one-
all attitude.
One fag talking to another fag.
True. I just like checked up on Cantwell recently and I was really disappointed that he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
He's kind of a cunt.
What we should do is we should forcibly put Bernie in office just so we can legalize weed, then kill him.
I'm totally okay with that.
We just blow up Washington, D.C.
I'm
What?
even more okay with that.
Dude, they've got the Star Wars program, man. Only useful thing Reagan ever contributed. I remember I brought that up in like 8th grade history class once. They're like, "How do you know this shit? Isn't that classified information?" I'm like, "Well, okay, my stepfather is a software developer for the military, but I don't need to have that connection to know that. That's actually just in the history books, how that shit works. I mean, there's literally like History Channel specials on it. I don't.
Last week we talked about Kratom being banned,
I just made a joke about my mom.
but I mean, I believe at that time it either just went into effect the day it happened, or it.
It went into effect exactly 8 days ago.
Okay, so I mean, I haven't heard any new news on like any sort of any new news on the stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have, where it's actually being sort of enforced now.
Really? The
No,
fuck?
like I have not heard, but did you know that it was banned, Eric?
I hadn't even heard it was banned. Like,
Yeah.
I heard that they were like planning on making it Schedule 1, but like I didn't know when the fuck that was gonna happen.
One is
So,
like they gave you a solid date, man. September 30th.
wow.
Yeah, they basically told you the day they were gonna, fuck over a bunch of people who desperately needed that to get off of much harder drugs.
That's so fucked up, Jesus.
And,
The
is it
pharmaceutical
crazy?
industry. It's a wonderful
okay.
thing.
An ATF agent walks into a bar. Who does he frag first? The disabled guy with the seeing eye dog, the normal dude with a normal dog. I
Hopefully he frags himself first. Like,
I
that's
don't know
best
where I
case
was
scenario.
going with that. Does anyone else not know what is going to come through? You know, dude, fuck off. Honestly, grow up a little Brit with that overused meme shit. Like, I get it's funny when you're 14. Rick Harrison, Shrek, MLG montages. Fuck off.
Is that going off in our chat?
And so, yeah, that's. I know I said not to be named viewers, but I don't get to.
Okay,
I'm,
'cause I was like,
I'm the
fuck-
god of Abraham. I
I
don't
was
follow
fucking
my own
confused.
rules.
I was like, where did that even come from? But if it's from the chat, that makes a little more sense.
It's from the chat. See, I've always heard that interacting with your viewers gets you more viewers, so that's even though it's painful. Who the fuck are these people? Like, the only people we have watching us are Carl and like 14, 15-year-old meme lords, and
Nucleonimbus is actually someone that we know. That's Gus.
all right, that's
Hi,
Gus.
Gus.
What up,
Hi, Gus.
Thought
Yeah,
was dead. I haven't
Gus,
heard
you're
from Gus in
absolutely
forever.
correct. Although I'm gonna flag your comment for being mean. Or should I actually flagged it? Am I a YouTube hero now?
Carl. 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 Carl.
Carl's not a meme lord.
No, he's just a fucking husky. Yeah, the other ones I don't know. Like the RL, he has Blastoise, or he has like a fucking. I was just about to say Blastoise, but he has fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card in there, and
His profile picture is the Beatles, isn't it? What?
yes. Well, no, like actually hover over his name, and you can see that there's a
Oh yeah,
fucking
there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. While my guitar gently weeps, funniest Dead Island moment yet. Oh, I've got to watch this.
I really just I just what the fuck. But yeah, also Syria is totally fucking shit up. Like they're doing a massive amount of shit that they probably shouldn't be doing.
I feel like it's been that way for a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
but now
Obama
they've got
mentioned that he wanted to you know, this is like he said this before, but he wanted to take out Assad, so it's probably an empty threat, like it usually is. But you know, I thought that was worth bringing up.
Well, they were talking about bombing the fuck out of like Syria in 2013, and like everybody thought that was going to be the end of the goddamn world, but like zero things came out of it.
2 weeks ago, they had a ceasefire that they agreed to. It was the U.S., Russia, and Syria. And the ceasefire lasted 7 days until Syria went back on the offensive. And then Russia and Syria recently bombed another fucking hospital.
Nice.
Yeah, Russia's got great aim.
Oh yeah. Just like the U.S. fucking Doctors Without Borders.
So that kind of happened, and then Russia and Syria are pissed at the U.S. Assad, though, surprisingly, did say to the rebels in Aleppo, "I will let you walk out of here, and we'll take it back over. But I'll let you just walk right out." And they were probably like, nah, man, we know what that means.
Probably like, fuck you, fam. Ain't going down like that.
You're gonna let us walk out, and then the second we're
Shoot
far enough
us.
away, you're gonna have Russia drop a bomb like 50 miles away from us on a fucking hospital.
Hey guys, that person that posted that in the chat is actually one of my friends. He just texted me, he said, "Man, they're talking mad heat on me in this chat."
Jesus fuck.
Dude, I feel
Oh,
you,
God.
the Beatles guy, the RL guy. I feel you on that Dead Island moment. Fucking losing vehicles to water in survival games. That's a bitch.
But yeah, so pretty much the status of the world is just about as fucked as normal.
Yeah.
Hey, what's something that really passionately pisses you off? Like, actually gets you sweaty? Like, somebody mentioned something.
The fact that drugs are illegal.
Yeah, that gets me
Okay.
pretty heated.
Something that doesn't require being prompted.
Something that's
Like, in
Eric.
order to get pissed off about Carl, I can't be pissed off about when my fat girlfriend's at homecoming. Dude, next week podcast, we all have to like smoke a bunch of crack beforehand and see what happens.
Oh yeah,
I can't get crack, but I can get cocaine.
nice.
Okay.
Close enough, right? Like,
I mean, heroin's
honestly,
always an option. We can just sit here and like not
No,
talk at all.
just like
No,
fall
I
into a
just
K-hole.
Oh yeah, fucking K-hole, man.
Oh God. I get sick to my stomach when people mention dissociative states. I really do. Like I had to keep myself from vomiting while Cole was talking about Bacardi. Fuck
I mean-
dissociatives, man.
I'm drinking gin right now.
Ah!
Oh God, it's gross.
And then I drank a mini bottle of Woodford Reserve. I think the next step is to drink the Duar White Label.
I think you should just like drink pure like ethyl alcohol.
Hey, I
Just
just
all good.
remembered a context to like a 5-month-old joke from the Mutualist chat, guys.
Nice.
That doesn't have anything to.
That's my favorite kind of joke. The 5-year-old one.
5 months.
5 years, 5 months, same difference.
Virgin, Gus spitting straight fire. I'll have you know I lost my virginity in the back of my ex-girlfriend's van when I was 14, outside of a football game. And boy, was there a lot of blood. Like, let me tell you. We went
Jesus.
through 2 condoms in the process.
Jesus
both
Christ.
blood soaked before we moved on to just raw dogging it. And I had to like slap my balls against the car seat in order to finish, just because it was so traumatizing.
What?
Like when I was thrusting, I had to lower my pelvis more, so my balls were slapping the car seat. So I got the extra stimulation I needed to just be fucking done.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Was that what anal was like the first time for you, Eric?
Good God, no. It was like there was zero blood involved. This sounds like a fucking war story from like Vietnam.
Oh, you date Asian dudes, don't you?
Dude,
No.
we soaked a solid 3 towels.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's not the worst of it, dude. Fucking period sex. Like, I still have a polo shirt stained from period sex.
Good God, this is why I'm so glad that I like men.
I had a concert later that day, and I also got caught shoplifting from Walmart that same day. And I was really sad. I was in a super bad mood. My girlfriend's like, let's have sex. So we fuck in the car, and blood everywhere. I had to like tuck my shirt in so nobody could see the massive blood stains at the waistline, and then put on my fucking concert attire. Like, it was so awkward. Like, when I took it off, I'd immediately cover myself in a bomber jacket.
Jesus fuck, we've gotten so off track tonight.
I'm gonna have to do
That's-
something so gay to get that out of my head. Like,
that's my only purpose in the podcast, is to get us off track.
well, you're fucking accomplishing your mission like with flying colors right now. So I'm just thinking about like disgusting period sex, and like I never do that, and I want to kill myself.
You can inject blood into
Right.
some dude's asshole and then just fuck it.
Like, dude, try eating pussy in a cornfield.
I'm not gonna try that, but I'll take your word for it.
He'll eat some ass in a cornfield. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Eat the cornhole in the cornhole.
God.
That's the most fucked up thing about living in the South. is there's a game called Cornhole, and you just think that's probably the gayest shit you could have named a fucking game. Like, for
Gotta
being
be-
a fucking Bible Belt and hating gays so fucking much, the like most widely known game is named the gayest fucking shit. Hey guys, you want to go down to the lake and go cornholing?
Plot twist: they're actually butt fucking each other.
Well, no plot twist. They're not actually butt fucking each other. They're shucking corn like good little boys.
Shucking corn up their ass, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what
Apparently,
Eric
when
does.
my friend's dad was a kid, the school was put on lockdown because someone was fucking a girl in a hippie band blasting the Beatles.
Thanks, Gus. Who the fuck is Sir Ultraviolence? Like,
It's probably a faggot.
they have a picture of.
I'm still
some-
here, guys. I mean, I just noticed we got.
I totally
I'm
thought you
sorry.
just like bailed. I was like, well, that's gone.
No, I'm sorry. Like I was explaining earlier to these guys, there's like probably 10 people at my house right now I'm trying to control.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm checking in and out. I'm listening to this whole thing now. I'm still here.
Okay.
So let's fuck. Let's talk
Every
about.
once in a while I'm trying to get us back on track.
Well, let's talk about something kind of interesting. Like, let's talk about the pop cultural phenomenon of being a fucking loser.
Like, these like self-deprecating humor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, self-deprecating humor in of itself isn't that bad. I use it frequently.
No, but
But,
it's like whenever it gets taken to the extreme where it's like, oh my god, I don't have a job and like everybody fucking hates me and I have crippling depression. Like, just give me attention. Like that kind of shit. Like, that's really annoying.
You know what pisses me off more than anything
What?
is the haha, I didn't go out with my friends tonight. I'm gonna eat pizza. I'm such a loner. I like that pisses me off so much because actual social isolation, not being able to do shit for your friends like months at a time, it's like fucking soul crushing. Like you start to lose your mind, man. Like
That fucking sucks.
I know, and it's really fucking painful, and it pisses me off whenever I see teenage girls who have like just a vibrant fucking social life. I'm such a loner. Fuck off. That's not a badge you should wear with pride. It's something you should hate. That's something you should hate with all of your being.
And I think like for people with actual social anxiety issues, that sort of stuff is like it's I don't want to say mocking, but that is the word I guess I'd use.
I feel like that's accurate because I kind of feel that way. It's like I don't know. I'm not like super comfortable in social situations, but like I see people like make jokes about that all the time, and they're just like, "Oh my god, it's so fucking funny." It'd be like making fun of retarded people. It's like, "Oh my god, I can't walk," and then you just get up and walk out of the fucking wheelchair. It's like,
I mean, I would guiltlessly do that, but
yeah, well,
it's
it's you, so I mean,
me. But what was I was smoking fag in the woods with one of my buddies with social anxiety. This is one of my buddies, as in people I only see like twice a year because fuck all. And he was freaking out the whole time. It's like, oh my god, we're gonna get caught. We're gonna get caught. It's like, we both. I'm pretty much of age, and you look like you're of age, and we're in the middle of the woods. What are you doing?
yeah, there's people
I mean,
that like tweak out whenever you're doing some shit. Like these people annoy me.
Plant your ass on the ground and enjoy yourself. Like that's why we're smoking in the woods, man, because it's fun, not because you want to freak out.
Yeah,
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not just with stuff like that. It's so many different disorders that people tend to essentially just try and manipulate and use for like their own social status. Like, oh, I'm so depressed. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, can get out of bed every single day, shit like that. There's all sorts of different fucking diseases that these people just make a mockery of.
Well, it's just fucking attention seeking. These people are literally attention whores, and like, if nobody's fucking paying attention to them, they'll just like use whatever they can.
Real genuine depression is like a perpetual bad mushroom trip, that kind of soul-crushing dread and anxiety, that feeling there's no solace for you, there's no respite for you. You get stuck in that mindset, and you get stuck in that fucking hole. And it's awful. It's one of the worst feelings you can ever experience. It's greater than any physical pain I've ever experienced. Was just that dread, the dread of existing, the spleen, existential dread, is the being afraid of being alive in every aspect of qualitative experience, which I've obviously since overcome. But it's ludicrous how much they trivialize that. Oh, I'm so depressed. I don't like my material condition right now. It's
Yeah, no, I agree. That shit really fucking pisses me off. I guess that goes back to like what gets you mad without being provoked, like that kind of shit.
it doesn't.
People,
The fact that I have experienced it isn't what pisses me off. It's not like, oh, feel bad for me. I'm not looking for that. I'm saying
It's the fact that
you don't
they
know what
trivialize it.
it's the fact that they fetishize it,
Yeah,
like glorify it. Do you have any idea how awful that is?
yeah, I know. I've kind of noticed that people like take some shit that's like really fucked up, like having depression or anxiety, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I have anxiety." Like, it's like, why are you making this a thing? Like, why are you trying to fucking like fetishize this? This doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you want that?
And like this
Well,
is of course not
think about
against
it.
the people who actually have these disorders and problems, because there's of course an actual distinction between people who just say they have these problems for
Well, look
various
at,
reasons, and people who
how many-
actually have them.
Mhm.
Look at how many
you know
people
what's-
always state they have things like social anxiety and shit like that, when it's just
Like stuff like that.
they're not sitting there almost having a fucking mental breakdown when they go out into public. They're just sitting there like, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Like it's like, I'm the guy who sits on the side and drinks at a party. I've got social. No, you don't.
No, you don't. You just don't want to fucking talk. You can't get up the fucking nerve to talk to anyone. It's not that you're completely fucking petrified by the concept of talking to someone. It's that you can't get the fucking pair to actually stand up and talk to someone.
You know what? On the topic of mental health and on the topic of mental illness, I've got two things I want to branch off into, but the first thing I'm going to cover is something I experienced quite recently. Mental health chat rooms where peers are supposed to help each other are completely fucking useless. Not because of the lack of professionals or academia, but because they're all just completely, like, hopeless. All of them, like, it's an echo chamber for, I really, really want to kill myself, but I don't even have the willpower necessary to do so. And everyone's saying it, and that's all it is. It's an echo chamber. It's fucking awful. Like, if you're ever curious and you ever just want to go into one of those peer help chat rooms, it's fucking absurd.
Just a bunch of like-minded people saying the same thing, essentially.
A leftist chat.
Oh god.
Even academia and mental health is generally disgusting. Like, they're fucking chills. Like, I'm gonna share a rather recent experience of mine personally. I have a bit of a health issue where it's not, I don't believe it's mental health, but I tried to get some counseling anyways in case I was incorrect. And essentially the issue with me is that I keep continuously losing weight, despite eating what I feel is enough. And it's not problematic at this point. I joke about it a lot. I like send pictures of myself half naked and my friends like, haha, dude, I'm getting so skinny. And then it's in the back of my mind like, haha, dude, I might die if this continues. And I don't want to die. And I can't maintain a weight. It's not going up and down. It's not like that. It just keeps going down no matter what I do. So I went and I said to myself, okay, so I've got two hypotheses based on analysis of my conditions here. Either that subconsciously I am preventing myself from eating enough and I'm actually under eating, but I feel like I'm eating enough, or rather overeating and being gluttonous. And that suggestion said, well, I said to myself, well, I'd rather not develop some strange masculine form of anorexia. So I tried to get some free counseling and shit. But you know, all those lines that say they're counseling and such on the internet, they're not counseling. They're trying to direct you to a treatment center. And my issue is, I don't know if there's genuinely something wrong with me in that regard. Dude, I'm 6'0" and 127, fucking same. But they're shilling is what they're doing. It's like, well, there are health centers in your area. I don't know if I have a problem yet. That's why I'm talking to you.
So if I'm understanding it right, you aren't gaining or losing, you just fluctuate constantly and usually
No. It's not that. It's I'm constantly losing. There's no fluctuation. That's why it's worrying. If it was just fluctuating constantly, I'd say, okay, that's normal. People have like crash diet periods. They're going to fluctuate a lot. But it's not. It's just going down. Period.
How much have you lost recently?
I started the summer at about 167, 165, and
Jesus.
now I'm down to. Why do you say Jesus? That's a normal, healthy weight.
No. I mean, like, you said you were like 127 though, right now.
Yeah, now I'm 127. So I've lost a solid almost 40 pounds, or no, just 40 pounds, like 41 pounds.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Jesus, like, not because you were 160, whatever.
And if it's not a mental health issue, and it's a physical health issue, I could have a very high resting metabolic rate, which is entirely possible, and there's really nothing to worry about since I'm the latter end of puberty. You know, being a 17-year-old boy, it makes sense for me to have a very high metabolism. If that is the case, I calculated my resting metabolic rate to be about 2,700 calories a day, and that's without activity. Which that would make sense. That's what I'm banking on right now. But I wanted to get counseling in case that was incorrect and there was something more serious.
And they just wouldn't fucking give you any help. They were like,
they wouldn't. I got hung up on.
Really?
Yeah, I started explaining my situation. I was halfway through explaining my situation. I just hear, click. And I'm like, you fucking faggot. But the same shit happened to my ex-girlfriend on the suicide helpline. Like, those people,
what?
They're treatment center shills. That's all they're doing. I literally told them I do not have the capital or the willpower to, or the will to go, not the willpower necessarily, the will to go to a treatment center, because fuck treatment centers. I've been to a treatment center back when I was really struggling with depression. Bunch of fucking inept assholes. I mean, seriously. Branching off of that, obese people should not be allowed in the health industry at all. Because that was one of my major issues while I was in the treatment center for this whole suicidal depression episode, was all of the nurses were horrendously obese and very intellectually inept. And they would just bark out de facto orders. I'm stronger than you, I'm smarter than you, and I'm bigger than you. Why the fuck should I do what you say? If I were to become unhinged right here, if I were to respond negatively to, I mean, you're being a bitch, really. They were awful people. If I were to respond negatively to this, I could jam that fucking pen you're jotting down shit with right in your neck. I mean, you should, if you're a woman especially, and you're really unhealthy like that, you should be treading on thin ice with your patients. Because, I could have fucked her up so bad if I wanted to. But I wanted to get out of there. I really did. So I wasn't going to do that. But just, it was so stupid. And they were mean, too. They were assholes. Like,
I was just but in, we're almost
at the end of our hour here.
Oh,
I'm just letting
Hold on.
everyone know. You can
Let
keep
me, let
going.
me let me finish my tangent.
Okay.
Like my buddy Angelo, like bless his fucking soul. When I got there the first day, I was really fucking cold. All right, because I don't know, I was really fucking cold, and he gave me his jacket, and I've still got that jacket now. And he had ADHD, and he was intellectually inept, and like he wouldn't understand social protocol. He would be very flamboyant and kind of rambunctious, and they were just completely awful to him. And this kid, less than 17 days beforehand, had tried to strangle himself with a tie. Like you are not blatantly rude or mean to someone who you're trying to help recover from the deepest manifestation of misery. Like he would stand in the door and talk to me, and they didn't allow that. And one of the nurses slammed the door in his fucking face. I mean, they didn't try that shit with me since I was pretty violent, actually. I never physically assaulted any of them, but I was very fucking violent. Like, I would always close the door when I went to sleep, and at 15-minute intervals, they would try to open the door because it was against policy to have closed doors, and I would walk up and I would drop kick the door back into its little back into its frame as hard as fucking possible. So they were terrified of me. But yeah, they were really awful people. They should not have been working with unstable patients. They shouldn't. And also the counseling they gave too was completely fucking vapid. Like we had this whole motivational group that day, which actually indirectly helped me. My anger is partially what indirectly helped me be motivated to beat it myself. And they'd have these stupid fucking self-affirmations is what they called it. Really completely vacuous shit, like I'm pretty or I'm unique or I'm special, and they'd have people tell themselves that, and when you're setting them back up for failure. This is okay because I feel like it's really engineered towards teenage girls, since there's a disproportionate amount of teenage girls who have mental illnesses. Yeah, nature really fucks women, didn't it? But and they're setting them back up for failure because the minute that fucking girl leaves or that patient leaves and they start feeling insecure again, all that self-affirmations, all that shit, it's gonna evaporate and they're gonna end up right in the center. They're not setting them up for success. They're not teaching them to love life, to understand their qualitative experience and appreciate it. They're teaching them to it's like slapping a band-aid on a fucking gaping flesh wound. It was awful, and it was extremely ineffective, and they were just like fucking authoritarian assholes. Like, a strict, stressful environment is certainly not what you want for patients who are under a massive amount of stress as is. I understand they're taking their money, Carl, and that's what I'm getting to here, is that they're shills. They're not doctors. They're not those fucking faggot altruists who they aspire to be. They're just fucking money-grubbing academics is what they are. And it's ridiculous. They're pigs. Physically and in practice, they're pigs.
Hey, my phone is at 1% right now. So I mean, I'm still here in the chat as left, right, and the absurd. So if this thing does go out, I'm just letting you guys know.
Oh, you want to charge your phone?
Yeah, I have to leave and get a charger.
Oh, leave and get a charger.
All right.
I feel like a lot of people that end up working in those places are kind of like mall cops.
Yes.
Where they just, like that in School of Rock, there's that great, it's like those who can't do, teach.
Yeah.
Those who can't teach gym. It's that kind of, those who can't, be a cop goes to be a mall cop. Those who can't be a doctor goes to work in a place like that.
Yeah, and that needs to be.
Well, I mean,
Because then you have a bunch of people who aren't, aren't as well trained as they ought to be.
I
Well,
mean,
you don't even need to
even
be trained. You
psych-
just need to be intelligent, really, to pick up on conceptual patterns there
I mean,
and human behavior. Like
even psychiatrists and therapists are in a similar boat. I mean, if you've ever had to sit through a fucking therapy session,
I've had to sit through many, and I've got to say that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was.
uh,
Go ahead.
like, they're generally just shit. And then, I mean, psychiatrists are just fucking pill pushers.
Psychiatrists
what
are pill pushers. I nearly died from malnutrition when I was in 8th grade because they prescribed me prescription amphetamines to quote unquote help me focus in school.
So
They
they diagnosed
annihilated.
you with ADHD, gave you,
No, they didn't even diagnose me with ADHD.
they just gave you amphetamines to
They-
help you focus.
They gave me
Which-
amphetamines to help me focus, which completely killed my appetite. And over a number of months, I became so dangerously low in weight that it was bad.
Yeah, I think from 6th to around 8th grade, I only weighed like 90 to 110 pounds.
Yeah, man.
And
Another byproduct
that was
of
when
that.
I was on that was when I was on Ritalin for ADHD.
Like, man, that's another thing. My family, we have a genetic predisposition to depression, and that's another thing that manifested on those amphetamines. Is it got so bad that I would lay my head down and cry in class, and then when I got home, I would curl up in a ball in a bed, lock the door, and I would cry more. And I would hope that this weight loss that was happening from the amphetamines would eventually kill me.
I think that's probably part of the reason why they tended to, why they began steering away from using strictly amphetamines and started using antidepressants as well for ADHD, is because they noticed that depression was such a huge side effect of amphetamines in so many people with ADHD. Because, I mean, the negative side effects of most of the amphetamine-based medicines that they would use were just monumental. I mean, you got to think you're on a slow release amphetamine for fucking 12 hours a day.
Yeah, man. See, what was I thinking? You know, what happened to me is the second I stopped taking the medicine, literally the day I stopped taking the medicine, I like jumped for joy.
Yeah,
Not because of being, cognizant of the medicine wasn't gonna fuck with me anymore, but just the effect of the medicine not being in my system anymore. Just immediately jumping for fucking joy. Like I was running around, I was setting off fireworks, I was helping my grandfather start control fires, like all that shit that I used to love to do. It all just came back instantaneously.
When I was on them, I used to sit in class. I would just fall asleep most of the time, or at the very least, just keep my head down the whole time. Wouldn't even fucking pay attention during lunch. I'd walk over with people, like friends and shit like that, but I'd just sit down on the ground and generally either fall asleep or just act like I was fucking sleeping.
And then antidepressants suck shit in of themselves. I can't say this for MAOIs, but I can say this for SSRIs. They suck shit too. The state of levelness or happiness. It's not a mood leveler. Like take nicotine for example. Nicotine is a mood leveler. This isn't a mood leveler. This is it's a mood eliminator. Like I felt nothing when I was on antidepressants.
The Pink Floyd song, "Comfortably Numb."
I was aware, I was cognizant of the fact that I felt nothing too, and I said, "Fuck it, I would rather feel this horrible angst and misery, than this," and that's what I did. And then I clawed my way out of that hole myself. It's funny, my room is still littered with antidepressant pills from not taking them. My dad would give them to me in the morning, and my old man would give them to me in the morning. I'd go into the bathroom, pretend to take it, and then I'd hide it in my bookshelf.
Yeah, I still remember having to go see a shrink in high school. And I think he realized after the first fucking time sitting there trying to talk to me that it wasn't gonna fucking do anything. So he just kind of sit there quietly the whole fucking time, every single time, and I don't think he cared because he knew he was getting paid.
Like my psychiatrist really all I needed from her, or my psychologist all I needed from her was just to bounce my ideas off of someone.
I knew the whole reason I was there was my school and my family, and I had no intention of just talking about anything relating to either of the two with them.
I'm still curious who thought it was a good idea to give amphetamines to kids. It's like,
I don't know, man.
it just seems like it wouldn't take a lot to realize that's probably not going to work out great.
It's a fucking archaic practice.
It's really fun. It's really fun when you don't take them and you sell them to your friends, though.
I guess there's that.
You can make some bank around fucking final season.
Yeah, man. I remember.
Maybe that's the plan. They're trying to get all the kids to just sell their medication to other kids, so the kids then end up needing
Actually needing it, get it?
Yeah, they get addicted to it from getting it from their friends, and then end up going.
Hey, legal math is legal math.
Man, it's funny. In freshman year for finals, not to study for finals, but for finals themselves, I took a near lethal dose of amphetamines because freshman year I didn't know what the fuck Erowid was. Only thing I had was blue light. So I took. Oh man. I just popped like 8 big pills, and I have like a existential realization. Like I just really stopped doing my final when I looked at the teacher supervising, and I started getting into a conversation about theology. It was a funny experience, really. Quite the inverse of all of my other experience with amphetamines.
All right. I believe we're about at our hour mark. Again, I'm just letting everyone know we can keep going.
I mean, if anyone else has anything to say, we can keep going. But if not, I feel this is a good place to end.
That's a pretty good place to end it.
I believe by next week the next presidential debate would have happened, so we could probably cover that.
I'm pretty sure it's happening tomorrow.
Oh, well then, yeah, there's that.
I will say to anybody before people start watching this, donate to our GoFundMe or go fuck yourselves. Carl, you need to buy me those bubbly earbuds because I love you and you said you'd do that and you're a beautiful man. And is there any other way we can chill for money here?
We need to start off a Patreon.
If
Yeah,
any
we
of
should,
you want to pretend to be one of my previous employers and want to actually help me out and actually referral on job application, just hit me up on Anarchist Dolphin. Right there, that's it. I think I've exhausted my options.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, we will also sell Eric's body to any dude that wants to fuck it.
Right, actually, one more thing. If you'd like to try like citric acid amide in pure crystal form and not have to mess around with extracting the ergine from the plants and shit, again, hit me up on Kick, Anarchist Dolphin. I'll mail that shit to you for a fair price. I will mail you crystal ergine because you need a warrant to search mail, so fuck.
I think that's only if you send it first class.
No, you need a warrant to search mail regardless. I learned all of the legal stipulations around mailing drugs when I started fucking around with DC Alpha Blind, my third guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love life now.
I can call you to do our outro, or someone else can do it.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully, you guys will be back next week. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your friends' friends' grandmothers, tell your aunts, tell your uncles. Don't tell your parents because they'll probably send you to an institution if they found out you listen to us. Definitely tell your principal, though. I bet you they would love the shit out of this, especially if they found out that you were watching it.
Tell
I
any
did
school
definitely-
staff, just any one of them. Just
Tell all of your school staff. Also, in addition to that, don't actually do any of that. Like, get fucking alive. What are you doing watching us on a Saturday night? Have a nice week.